to a friend's wedding, and the priest quoted this oft-quoted quote, which was, "In marriage, if you keep score, you both lose." I have now been married for almost 6 years, so I can attest that is true. However, this story is not about marriage, it's about dating. And if my husband Spencer and I had kept score during our brief dating period, only one of us would have lost. Me. Let's go back. Spencer and I met at a small music department in a small liberal arts college. He was a junior when I was a freshman, and somehow we managed to completely avoid each other for the first 6 months of my freshman year. Then, it's February. There are auditions for a spring concert. I'm preparing to accompany someone for their musical theater piece, and then I'm going to present my own original composition. I'm waiting in the lobby for my turn to audition. I look pretty cute. I'm in a flowing skirt. I got my hair done, makeup and shit. It's a big deal. I look across the lobby and I see this guy who is sitting on a table and playing acoustic guitar, and he is hairy. Spoiler alert, Spencer. The tune he's playing is a jaunty one, and being the free spirit that I am, I decide to dance along. Let the games begin. So, I'm dancing. He looks up and he smiles and he says, "I didn't know anyone here knew how to do the two-step." I said, "I don't know what the two-step is, I'm just making stuff up." He says, "That's a two-step." So I say, "I love the two-step." This has since been retitled The Two-Step of Seduction. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking 5 points, Kate, that dance was good, but I don't know if it was 5 points good. But see, this whole approaching a stranger and talking freely and dancing, dare I say flirting, very forward for me. And I know how this story goes, and just trust me on this, I need the handicap. So anyway, laughter ensues, the ice is broken, we begin to chat. He is also preparing to accompany someone on their audition. He also loves folk music. He also writes his own music. He would love to hear one of my compositions. It's my turn to audition, things go how they go. I come back out, say, "Hey, we'll see you around." And I get back to my dorm room where my best friend and roommate Danny, she asks me how it went, and I reflect, you know? I met this guy, and he's not what I would usually call cute, but he had these great blue eyes, and I think he thought I was cute. So, fast forward a week later, I run into him on campus. He says hi. I say hi back, we exchange pleasantries, and as we part ways, I realize I am, in fact, attracted to him. I have no idea what his name is. So, fortunately, he was playing at a concert that week, so I was able to sneak a peek at the program, Super Sleuth Point. So, now I know his name, I know I think he's cute, and I know he seems to be okay with talking to me, so I promptly lose all ability to make eye contact with him. I mean, you guys know the trick, right? See him across campus, and so you immediately become like so busy doing absolutely anything else, but sneak peeks now and again to see if maybe he's looking at you, and then if he says hi first, "Oh my god, hey! I didn't see you there. I'm totally not hyper aware of you within 50 feet of me." Cuticles and stuff. So I keep that up for a couple weeks, and he keeps saying hi to me. I pull this stunt, like, right before going on spring break, where I see him talking to someone else, so I plow past them both, pretending I don't see, and he says, "Hey, Kate," and I'm like, "Oh my god, you've been there this whole time? I had no idea." Spring break, gotta go, peace out. And as I'm walking away, I'm kicking myself because I know I've just sent very clear I'm not interested in you vibes to someone I'm very interested in. But I'm not going to see him for like a whole week, and that's a lot of time in college world, and how am I going to fix this? Fortunately, college emails, not that creative, right? First name, dot, last name, at university.edu. So, over spring break, I email him about guitar class. All right, it's only 5 points. It's cool. I know, I've taught myself some guitar, but I don't know if I'm ready for the school music department private lessons. Should I just take the class? And he writes back, he says, oh, you know, both are great. It really depends on your schedule. And hey, if you can't fit either in your schedule, he'd be more than happy to give me private lessons. Right? I've just been offered the opportunity to spend one-on-one time with him on a regular basis. So naturally, I sign up for the school's guitar class. Right? Anyway, at the first class, they tell me I need to restring my guitar. I have no idea how to do that. So, I email him again, asking if he wouldn't mind showing me how to do it. Restring my guitar, I mean. He comes over that Saturday at about noon, restrings my guitar in like 20 minutes, but then hangs out with me and my roommate Danny until she and I go to dinner 6 hours later. I, of course, spend all of dinner explaining to Danny how he's clearly just a nice guy who's passionate about restringing guitars, not someone who wants to get in my pants. The following week, this strange phenomena begins. I had class 8 o'clock every morning, and then I had an hour break before my 11 o'clock class, and I would spend that hour in the school practice rooms practicing piano. I did this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Somehow, through sheer coincidence, Spencer kept stumbling upon me in the practice room, and he'd poke his head in to say hey, and we'd end up talking for a whole hour instead of practicing piano. Totally weird. This one time, I saw him talking to a whole group of people, so I approached the whole group, right? Because I want to talk to everybody there, not just him. And everybody else ends up leaving, it's just me and him, and I mentioned that I haven't been feeling great, so I wanted to go get some soup, and he offers to come along. But we get to the campus cafe, and all of the soups there are cold and crusting. So I bemoan the fact that what I really want is my comfort food, which is, don't judge me, Campbell's bean with bacon soup. He drives me to Kroger, where I can buy the soup, takes me back to his apartment, and cooks the soup for me. 5 points, Spencer. That night, I of course explained to Danny how he's clearly just a nice guy passionate about sharing soup, not someone who wants to get in my pants. Alright, so shit's about to get real. It's time for that concert that we auditioned for, right? And during one of our completely coincidental Friday morning practice room chat sessions, we realized we're both going to be accompanying someone at this show. And so he says, we should totally sit together. Right? I say okay. Sidebar. I find out years later, he had totally already invited this other girl to come to the concert with him. But when I agreed to sit with him, he called her back and said, oh, you know, you probably shouldn't come. It's going to be really boring and you're not going to have any fun. I'm going to give myself a retroactive point for that. Because that's the power of the two-step of seduction. Night of the concert, all right? Danny came with me, but she's sitting somewhere else. Spencer and I are sitting next to each other. And one of the acts does some Beatles songs, and I admit I don't know that many Beatles songs. He is indignant. I must come back to his place that night and listen to Beatles. I agree to do so. But then as I'm sitting there, I start to panic because I realize I don't know if he wants to listen to the Beatles or if he wants to listen to the Beatles. Because I'm not ready to listen to the Beatles. We've only been talking for like 3 months, and oh my God, how am I going to get out of this? I feel really sick to my stomach. I think I'll tell him I'm feeling really sick to my stomach because that's not a lie. I feel really awful. He might actually concert, I dash out of the auditorium, and I find Danny, and I tell her about my total breakdown and inability to listen to the Beatles. And then I make her tell Spencer that I have a tummy ache. I pass Spencer on my way home, and he tells me he hopes that I feel better. That's kind. Sunday and Monday, I crawl into a hole of self-loathing. But Monday night, I get a phone call. It's Spencer. He's walking home from rehearsal. It's a beautiful night. Would I like to go for a walk? I think that's pretty smooth, so we'll give him one more point. And I agree to do so. And before I leave, my darling roommate Danny tells me that if Spencer and I do not kiss, she is locking me out of the room. So we walk and we talk, and we find our way to this park, and Spencer notices that the moon is really beautiful, so he stands up on a bench to get a closer look. It's college, free-spirited. So I stand on the bench to get a better look too. And then he climbs down, and then he puts his arms around my waist to help me down. And his hands stay at my waist, and we are gazing into each other's eyes in a park on a moonlit night. And I duck my head. But Spencer takes 2 fingers under my chin, gently lifts my face towards his, and kisses me. A sweet, perfect, intensely romantic first kiss. So naturally, I start to cry. Because I get attached really quickly, and as much as we've talked, I don't know his whole romantic history, so I don't know how he treats relationships, and if he's not ready for me to get attached, we should just stop now. So Spencer sits down on the bench and tells me his entire romantic history. Needless to say, he earned a lot more kisses after that. Which is good, because when I got back to my room that night, I was, in fact, locked out as promised, and entry was only granted after confirming that kissing had taken place. I think it is apparent that I lost this game known as dating. But somehow I really won, because I got Spencer. And the only explanation that I have for that is the 2-step of seduction.